And if he's smart, he'll back up, because a Crusader versus a Panzer III usually goes towards the Crusader. The Crusader has a 57mm AT gun, which I'm pretty sure has better penetration than even the Sherman AT gun. It's pretty damn good for penetrating armor. But the problem with it is the AT shells aren't so hot. My ally took out the armored car on the left with a 6-pounder. That was good. Like I said, he has a really well fortified left flank. So seems like their attack's getting beaten down. So my prediction is that, well, it's not a prediction anymore because I actually played this game. They're gonna focus mostly on the middle and the right. Now, I got a squad of infantry to send to the right side, and I was saving up for a Daimler armored car to make another infantry support group. Armored car supported by infantry, another solid combination, even though it's kind of fragile. In the middle, it's yet another Crusader Panzer III slugfest. I think their Panzer III is backing up. Now I'm trying to get sight. I don't know where his Panzer III is, so in order to kill it, I have to find it. So I scouted it out with my infantry, and now my Crusaders take shots. I still don't know where that flamethrower is. Kind of scaring me. Oh snap! My Crusader killed the Panzer III, and a Panzerschreck killed my Daimler. A lot of things just happened. A mistake I made, and it costed me my armored car, is I sent my armored car in first, so that sneaky motherfucker was able to kill me. And now all my guys are being mowed down on the right by machine gun. Like I said, those machine gunners are pretty powerful and scary. So I got my guys to pull back before they all died. That wasn't so hot. If I moved my infantry in first, I could have killed the AT rifleman or the bazooka dude, and moved my armored car, which would then kill the machine gunner, which would make my entire attack a success. So every action has repercussions. You gotta think these through. Wow. And I'm shelling all his infantry with my Crusader. That's why you guys should always spread your infantry out so that doesn't happen. A 57mm HE shell isn't that great. You shouldn't lose an entire squad to a couple of shots, and that's exactly what happened because he didn't spread his dudes out. Now he got a Puma. I always find it funny when Axis players build Pumas. A lot of Pumas are a great unit, don't get me wrong, but each time I see a Puma, it's usually a no shit button. It's like, oh crap, they have a T-34, I gotta find a quick counter to it, and they get a Puma. And that's actually not a bad choice because Pumas are really speedy and they do quite a bit of damage. They have, I think, a Panzer III gun, so if you can get a Puma to flank, they can actually kick some ass. Now I'm trying to capture the mid-back. It's I threw smoke on the right side as a diversion. Like I said, it's good for bluffing. I'm bluffing again because on the right side I don't have that many units. And I'm advancing to the left, also with smoke. That's a sandwich position. There's smoke coming from both sides, so they don't know which side I'm going to attack from. And now I'm moving up a Sherman, which I actually like. I think the Sherman's the best medium tank because its armor's pretty good. The only disadvantage I'd say is that it's such a big target. It's really high for a medium tank. But it also has a 50 cal, which is actually a fantastic machine gun. It can actually kill some armored targets, like it can kill Puma. So I got it as kind of like an infantry support slash anti-tank tank. And there's a half track. My 50 cal can fuck up that half track. Let's see what it does. Oh, no, that wasn't a half track. Armored Puma armored car. That's what I meant. So I'm kind of being sandwiched by all their vehicles, but I managed to take out their armored car, and my 50 cal wipes out their Puma. See, that's how good the 50 cal is. It's great for protecting your tanks. They can't really flank you because that 50 cal will shred up their Pumas. Took out both the armored cars with one Sherman, which almost makes it worth. Well, actually, that already paid for itself now. So now it's time to capture the right. I'm sending some dudes on to the right. My theory is that I'm going to use a Sherman to support my dudes on the right. Right now I'm shelling a machine gun in direct control. It looks like I killed one of the crew members. That's one of the things I like about direct control. If you know something's there, the AI won't automatically shoot at them. You can use direct control to shoot at where you think the thing is. The problem with shelling with direct control, or shelling an area in general is that you can potentially create craters depending on how strong the HE shells are, which your enemies can then use as cover. So be careful when you decide to shell things. Like I said, every action has repercussions. I sent another assault squad on the middle. I love those guys so much if you haven't figured it out already, because they have just so much armor and so much firepower. They're just fantastic for assaulting and capturing the point. Oh no, that was a Panzer IV. It's shelling my dudes. My Sherman's fighting back. From this position, I think I could slug him for quite a bit. I think he's shooting through a building, which can decrease the kinetic energy of the round. This game is really good physics calculations, so can model things like that accurately. Also, my Sherman's slightly tilted. That effectively increases the amount of sloping armor it can have. So that's good. Oh, I damaged his track. Now that puts him in a really bad position. Well, if you can't move, that's a bad position. But as you can see, my ally is sneaking up a scout behind him. If he can get a dynamite off on that Panzer IV, that would be really awesome. So I think overall this game is really good synergy between me and my ally. I support him, he supports me. Like here, we knocked out his tread. I knocked out his tread for him to get a scout out. But a Hetzer came and ruined his day. But let's... Oh, he managed to get that dynamite out. Panzer IV dead. But now I have a Hetzer to deal with. Hetzers are annoying motherfuckers. They're really low profile. They're really close to the ground. So the problem with that is they're really hard to hit, especially from long range. And they're pretty fast. They turn pretty fast, even though they only have one turret. They make up for that with their turning speed. But also, Hetzers have a pretty good gun, and their armor's pretty good slopes. So they're an annoying, relatively cheap tank destroyer. And it's me. Oh man, I think the Hetzer took out my Sherman. That's not good. So now I have no Sherman and a bunch of infantry. I'm getting my guys to hide in the village, because if there's a tank and you're out in the open, that's not a good position. Those guys are idiots. They ran the long way. It's going to get them killed. Well, they're really lucky now. So I'm going to get my infantry and hide them in the buildings and whatnot, so the Hetzer has to play a game of cat and mouse instead of... whatever, my analogy failed. Instead of just killing things out in the open. So now, the Hetzer's a problem. Right now I'm contemplating what they get. As you can see, my mouse cursor is floating over my choices. I was thinking Firefly, but that would be overkill. I'd be countering a relatively cheap tank with a really expensive tank. So now I'm discussing things with my allies, like what should we do against that Hetzer? What should we buy? What should we do? So instead I got a Daimler. There's always a stingy part of me. My philosophy is that the Daimler can outmaneuver the Hetzer. The Hetzer, it's relatively fast, but it only has one turret, so if my micro is better than his, I can manage to flank the Hetzer. Not really, he just took a shot at me, and perhaps take out a tread. So now I'm just sending my Daimler. They're great for harassment. They're one of my favorite armored cars. But then I decided I'll fake them out. I'll move the Daimler on the left and support my ally instead. You wouldn't be able to tell that was coming. So that's what I did. I moved him on the left, shooting his infantry dudes. And, oh no, he just built a Panzer H just to counter my Daimler. That's funny stuff. So now my ally are thinking there's quite a bit of armor on the field. We need a way to counter it. There's also a lot of infantry here. The battle's just heating up. See, we have Hetzers, infantry coming all over the place. And it looks like we're not in a fantastic position. We gotta step it up. We have a lot of infantry on the field, a little bit more than we need. So we need some anti-armor. And I built another assault squad and a Crusader. Crusaders are pretty cost effective. They're one of the cheaper medium tanks. They cost only 18. And they're relatively fast, and my game crashed. So that's why this game was called Blue Balls. Right when the action was heating up, when there was big action coming on, a lot of infantry support, and a lot of coordination, you think there's going to be a big battle coming up, but my game crashed. I think that's a metaphor for life.